a simple woman challenged to sing. And the night that changed everything, what would you do if someone tried to humiliate you in front of the most powerful people in the room? If every whisper carried judgment, if every glance questioned your worth, would you shrink into silence? Or would you rise? This is the story of Luna Santos, a young waitress from Rio de Janeiro whose quiet dignity concealed a gift so powerful that when finally revealed, it changed not only her life, but the lives of everyone who witnessed it, every morning before sunrise. When the sky above Copacabana Beach turned soft shades of gold and coral, Luna unlocked the doors of the small seaside café where she worked. The city was still stretching awake. The ocean breeze carried the scent of salt and possibility. And for a few sacred moments before customers filled the room, the café belonged only to her. She moved gently between the wooden tables, aligning chairs, polishing glasses, arranging fresh flowers in small vases. The rhythmic sound of waves crashing nearby blended with the hum of the espresso machine warming up. It was during these quiet hours that Luna allowed herself to sing, softly at first, then with growing confidence. Her voice wasn't loud, but it was alive. It carried warmth, depth, a softness that could comfort, and a strength that could break through. Sorrow, she sang, not to impress anyone. She sang because it made her feel whole. At 25, Luna had learned to appreciate life's simplest blessings. She had grown up in a modest neighborhood, raised by a single mother who worked tirelessly as a seamstress. Money had been scarce, but love had never been. Her mother used to tell her, "Talent is a gift, but character is a choice. Protect both." When Luna was 12, her mother had saved 4 months to buy her a small second-hand karaoke machine. It was the most expensive thing they ever purchased. Luna remembered how they had celebrated that night, singing together in their tiny living room, laughing between off-key notes, dreaming without limits. But life had a way of demanding practicality over dreams. After her mother passed away, Luna put her ambitions aside. She chose stability. She chose responsibility. She chose work, and so she became a waitress. But she never stopped singing. Among her regular customers was Martha Reynolds, a retired American who had moved to Rio after losing her husband. Martha visited the cafe every morning at precisely 8:15 a.m. Ordering the same cappuccino with cinnamon sprinkled on top, Martha had a way of noticing things others overlooked. One morning, after listening quietly while Luna believed she was alone, Martha said gently, "My dear, that voice of yours doesn't belong in." Hiding, Luna had blushed and laughed it off. "It's just a hobby," she replied. But Martha knew better. Few people knew that Luna was married, and almost no one knew who her husband truly was. 2 years earlier, Ryan Thompson had walked into that very cafe during a business trip. An American tech entrepreneur, discreet and intensely private. Ryan had built $1 billion empire before the age of 40, but success had not protected him from loneliness. He noticed. Luna, not because she recognized him, she didn't, but because she treated him like everyone else. No awe, no pretense, no calculation. When he accidentally spilled his coffee, she smiled and said, "It's just coffee, not the end of the world." That moment disarmed him more than any boardroom negotiation. Ever had they talked, they laughed, he kept returning, and somewhere, between espresso refills and sunrise conversations, he fell in love. But Luna never changed after learning who he was. She never asked for luxury, never demanded status. She was content with simplicity at home. Their modest apartment overlooking the city, she cooked dinner while humming melodies. She sang while folding laundry. She sang in the shower. Ryan adored the sound, but she never performed for him. It was always spontaneous, always unguarded. Her voice remained her private sanctuary until the night everything changed. The annual Innovation for Change charity gala was one of the most anticipated events in Rio's elite social calendar. Investors, entrepreneurs, philanthropists, influencers, they all gathered under one glittering roof. The ballroom shimmered beneath crystal chandeliers. Marble floors reflected golden light. Champagne glasses chimed in delicate toasts. Luna almost didn't go. She owned only one formal dress, a simple blue gown that fit her gracefully, but lacked the extravagance surrounding her. "Don't belong there," she told. "Ryan, you belong wherever I am," he answered. Softly, when they entered the ballroom, conversations paused just slightly. Not long enough to be obvious, but long enough to be felt. Designer gowns shimmered like constellations. Diamond necklaces sparkled beneath chandeliers. Conversations revolved around mergers, artificial intelligence, and global influence. Luna felt like a misplaced note in a symphony of wealth. Ryan squeezed her hand. "Just be yourself," but eyes followed her, and then came Ashley Palmer. Ashley was known across social media for her bold commentary and razor-sharp opinions. A prominent tech blogger, she had built her brand on exposing what she called strategic marriages, relationships she believed were built on ambition rather than love. She entered the room in a striking red designer gown. Every movement calculated, every smile rehearsed. When she noticed Luna, her curiosity sharpened. "Well," Ashley said loudly, approaching them with a glass of champagne in hand, "this must be the famous café waitress." The word lingered, not descriptive, but dismissive. Luna held her posture steady. "I hear your coffee is exceptional," Ashley continued. "Tell me, do you serve breakfast in bed too?" A few nervous laughs echoed nearby. Ryan's jaw tightened, but Luna gently touched his arm. "Our cafe believes in treating everyone with respect," she replied calmly. Ashley's lips curved into a thin smile. "How refreshing," she said. "Humility is such a rare accessory these days." The comment wasn't praise, it was bait. Later in the evening, Ashley took the stage as part of the entertainment segment. After delivering a speech about innovation and influence, she surprised the audience by announcing she would perform a song herself. The pianist began to play, Ashley sang confidently. Dramatically, but not beautifully. The applause was polite. Then, she returned to the microphone. "Tonight is about celebrating talent," she declared. "And I believe talent should be recognized regardless of background." Her eyes locked onto Luna. "So why don't we invite someone unexpected to share the spotlight? Perhaps our charming waitress would like to sing?" Silence swept the ballroom. Hundreds of eyes turned. Luna's heartbeat thundered in her ears. Ashley smiled sweetly. Unless, of course, she prefers staying behind the counter. The implication was clear. It wasn't just a challenge. It was humiliation disguised as opportunity. For a moment, Luna felt 12 years old again, standing in a classroom where someone had laughed at her accent. She felt small, but then she saw Martha in the crowd, her expression unwavering. And before Luna could respond, another figure stepped forward, Grace Anderson, a name that commanded respect in the music industry. A producer who had discovered global stars in forgotten towns. Now retired, she spent part of the year in Rio. She had visited Luna's cafe many mornings. She had listened. "I've heard her sing," Grace said firmly. Murmurs rippled through the audience. Ashley blinked. "She sings when she thinks no one is paying attention," Grace continued. "And what I heard was not ordinary." Grace approached Luna, lowering her voice. "Before I became who they know," she whispered, "I was a cleaning girl in Kansas. I was discovered because someone believed I deserved to be heard." She pressed a folded note into Luna's hand. Inside were handwritten words. "They can only make you feel small if you forget how powerful you are," Luna inhaled. Deeply, she remembered her mother's laughter, her small living room concerts, her sunrise rehearsals alone with the ocean, and she made a decision. She would not sing to prove Ashley wrong. She would sing to honor herself. When Luna stepped onto the stage, her hands trembled slightly. The microphone felt heavier than expected. The ballroom lights seemed brighter than the sun over. Copacabana. The pianist waited. She nodded the first notes. Floated into the air. Luna closed her eyes and sang. Her voice emerged soft, almost fragile, then expanded with breathtaking clarity. It carried emotion that couldn't be manufactured. It carried truth. The room transformed. Conversations ceased entirely. Phones lowered. Even the air felt still. Each lyric felt lived, not performed. Each note rose like a declaration of identity. Ryan stood frozen, overwhelmed. In 2 years of marriage, he had never heard her sing like this. Not fully. Not freely. Martha wept openly. Halfway through the song, a brief technical glitch cut the instrumental sound. A gasp rippled across the crowd. But Luna didn't panic. She removed the microphone from its stand and continued a cappella. Her voice, unfiltered, filled the vast ballroom without effort. It wasn't loudness that commanded tension. It was sincerity. The pianist carefully rejoined her when she reached the final chorus. Her confidence soared. She was no longer the nervous waitress in a borrowed spotlight. She was an artist, and when she held the final note steady, fearless, radiant, the silence that followed felt sacred. Then came thunderous applause. Not polite, not performative. Genuine, a standing ovation spread across the ballroom like a wave. Ashley stood motionless. Her earlier smirk dissolved into disbelief. Grace stepped forward, pride evident in her eyes. "This," she said into the microphone, "is what happens when courage meets opportunity." Ryan joined Luna on stage, emotion breaking through his composure. "I fell in love with her kindness," he told the audience. "Tonight, you witnessed her strength." The applause grew louder, but the night didn't end there. Something deeper had shifted. Later that evening, in a spontaneous announcement, Ryan and Luna revealed their plan to create a foundation dedicated to discovering hidden talent in overlooked places, schools, cafes, community centers. Grace agreed to mentor aspiring artists through the initiative. The Seaside Cafe would host monthly open mic nights, welcoming voices that might otherwise remain unheard. Because Luna understood something now. Humiliation can silence a person, but courage can amplify them. As the evening concluded, Luna returned to the microphone once more. "Sometimes," she said gently, "we hide our gifts because we fear judgment. But the world doesn't change when we stay silent. It changes when we dare to be seen." She looked across the ballroom, no longer intimidated. Tonight wasn't about proving anyone wrong. It was about remembering who I am. A chandelier shimmered softly above her, and in that moment, the simple waitress in a blue dress stood taller than anyone in the room, because dignity outshines diamonds, and a quiet voice, when finally unleashed, can echo farther than anyone expects.